Thank you very much. Nice meeting you.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. Turkey says it can mediate between Ukraine and Russia as tensions rise, and Russia has been receiving global condemnation over this military buildup at the border with Ukraine. So Turkey has deep ties both with Russia and also with Ukraine. In what ways can Turkey really mediate this and bring peace in Eastern Europe?
Now, first, I pinpoint what the U.S. says. It says if Russia invades, high impact economic measures that we have refrained from pursuing in the past. Now, this is not even the strategic ambiguity as in Taiwan. We saw the same wrong policy in Georgia. Remember? And what happened to Georgia? And what happened to Crimea? So here, with my experience, I cannot really understand the intention of the USA or leading the NATO members behind it. What does it want? If you are not going to protect Ukraine from Russian invasion, just put economic sanctions. Why are you in this game? This is a very serious question. Now, as for Turkey, Turkey is a NATO member. So it has to go with NATO. But I personally don't know NATO's intention. And so Turkey has to play a very fine diplomacy. We have very strong relations with both Russia and Ukraine, as you said. Yes, correct. Russia is very unhappy with our military cooperation with Ukraine. Russia is very unhappy with the drones Turkey gave to Ukraine. And we share now technology with Ukraine. Russia has tourists coming to Turkey. Russia has a lot of imports from Turkey. These are all the balancing points in a very serious game. So what Turkey can do is ask NATO, especially the USA, what it really wants. What does the US want? Does it want to push Russia to China? Does it think that Russia is a greater enemy than China, potentially? Or, for instance, does it want to contain China, NATO, enlarging towards Russia? So these are very serious questions. Now, what our foreign minister has said, Mr. Çavuşoğlu, he says there should be something between deterrence and diplomacy. Deterrence is not the solution, correct? But what is in between? Now, our president, Mr. Erdogan, says that we can do whatever we can, including mediation. But Saharova said it doesn't mean this real problem. So what does it mean? What does Russia understand from it? Does Russia want Turkish mediation in this game? Is Turkey powerful and strong enough a player to mediate between the two parties? What does NATO want from Turkey? Would NATO see Turkish mediation as an important factor in the game? So these are the questions. Also, of course, just like Turkey and Armenia, millennial friends became enemies. So does it mean that Russia and Ukraine, I mean Russian and Ukrainian peoples, millennial brothers and sisters, does the West, does NATO want to put another millennial enmity between these brothers and sisters? A very valid question to divide them. Division of Russia, decomposition of Russia. Ottoman Empire. Think of the Ottoman lands still burning. Lastly, saying this. So now, Russian decomposition, the fire is coming there. Does NATO want it? Another Ottoman decomposition and fire were burnt up in Eurasia? These are serious questions that come to my mind.
Those are some very important questions that you have raised. Now the thing is that I want you to elaborate a little more on was the fact that Turkey did say that diplomacy and dialogue are the two most important factors which are currently needed to bring peace between both Russia and Ukraine. But at this point, since there's so much military activity, is a negotiation even possible between the two sides?
That's the point. It depends on NATO. It doesn't depend on Russia. Russia is a declining power. It's on defense. It's not a rising power like China. It doesn't have economic clout in the world. It's only military. It doesn't produce much. It cannot export much. It's an oil gas exporter. So it's not the real threat. If NATO wants a real threat, that's China. That's the great rival. I mean, I don't want enmity of China. Of course, we don't want enmity. But if you want to see the real rivalry, China is there for you. But Russia doesn't have much clout. It's in defense. Russia is in defense in this game. It all depends on NATO, not Russia. What does NATO want? That's the first question that comes to my mind.
Indeed. So right now, do you think, do you really believe, based on what you're saying, that Russia is on the defense? Do you really believe that a full-blown military conflict is even possible, or is it just speculation right now? With regards to Ukraine right now, China is a different threat, but when it comes to this specific issue right now, based on what we're seeing with this military buildup right now, is there actually a credible military threat to Ukraine? Do you think?
Yes, there is. If you push the cat to the corner, it may jump on you. But if Russia starts a military operation, there is not much that NATO can do. NATO cannot counter Russia militarily. It would be the start of Third World War. It's impossible. So don't push Russia to the corner. That's my advice. Strategic ambiguity, as in Taiwan, even that is not possible for Ukraine. Think about it. Yeah.
Indeed. Ivan Nuran, sir, thank you so much for taking out the time to speak to us and informing us about this critical issue right now. It was a pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, as scientists continue to study the risks of the new COVID variant,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.